Hello and welcome back to CS103 Machines, Languages and Computation, and welcome to week 10. So this is the last week of material in semester 1. In week 11 we'll just be doing some revision for the class test. So the class test itself is at the end of week 11 on Friday the 4th of December. Same format as the previous one. There's 5 questions. You'll do all of them. The first one is on infinite sets and non-computable functions. That finishes off the material that we looked at in the first half of the semester. Then there are 4 questions on recursion. First of all, on grammars and recursion. That's the silly sentences stuff from week 7. Then on strings and recursion, looking at grammars and regular expressions. Then thirdly, looking at the stuff we did last week, recursion in logical definitions. That's the stuff where we were looking at how to define the ancestor relation using simple logic. And then finally, recursion and function definitions. Now originally I said that I was going to show you function definitions using Python, but then I remembered that this caused a problem last year, in that when I taught the students this, they all started to get the idea that the only way of doing repetition in Python was via recursion, and that's not true. So I'm actually going to show you a different programming language, a programming language called Haskell, which you're going to be learning about later in your course anyway, so it's going to be useful. So in the second half of the class, it's recursion all over the place. Recursion in languages, strings, logical definitions, and finally, this week, it's recursion and how we can use recursion to define functions and how we can actually define those functions as computer programs. So this week's material is in 3 parts. First of all, I'm going to show you how we can use a symbolic formalism. In other words, that's a posh way of saying a way of writing down symbols, a symbolic definition of functions, and it's called the lambda calculus. It was invented basically as a way of writing down computable functions. You know what computable functions are now. They're ones where you can write an algorithm to calculate the output from the input. Well, the lambda calculus is a complete way of writing down computable functions. And it's used as the basis of this language called Haskell. So the next thing that I'm going to do is introduce you to Haskell, which is a purely functional programming language. And then finally, we'll look at how we can define functions such as the factorial function using recursion, and how we can define those functions in Haskell. So I hope you enjoy the week, and I'll see you in the next video.